Alright guys, well, this is what you've been waiting for, you've been asking. Let's see some ride footage of the 450. So, here we are. We're going to get out on the trails and talk about some things. So let's do it. Alright guys, so just to kind of highlight, preface this the video. It's going to be, I got about an hour and 20 minutes on the bike. I broke it in, I picked the bike up on a Thursday, broke it in on a Friday, Saturday, yesterday. I did the first oil change, dumped the oil out, filled it up with some fresh oil, fresh filter, and it is Sunday, and we're going to go out and get the initial impressions and initial ride review out of the way. Alright guys, so initial setup on the bike is as follows. Bike's completely stock except for I have the lowering link installed, same as I did on my WR 250F, and that's a me thing. I got really short legs, and just coming to a stop, like I would tip over constantly on the when I had the last WR, because the bike's so tall, you know, it's almost a 38 in seat height from the factory, and that 1 inch makes a huge difference, especially when you get your sag set. You set your sag after doing the link. You know, I got it at 95. The book calls for between 90 and 100 sag on the bike stock. So I installed the link, set the sag. I had to just take 2 rounds of preload out of it to get it to where I wanted it. And suspension, I set everything to standard settings to the book. And then from there, I softened them up a little bit. I got them at 15 out on the compression on the front and 13 out on the rebound, and I got the rear shock 1.5 out on the high speed and 15 out on the slow speed, 12 out on the rebound. We'll do some different riding. I know a lot of the questions is how good is it? Everybody knows they do good fast. Now, how good is it when things get slow and a little tighter? So we'll show you some of that, and we'll do some higher speed stuff too. One thing you guys are going to notice is I don't have to shift much on this bike. Reminds me a lot of my Raptor 700, because I can, you see right here, 3rd gear, and just pull right out, come to a real slow crawl. Right now I'm cruising about 35. The throttle at the very bottom, right off, let's see, I'm still in 3rd gear here, watch. That was at 23 miles an hour. Pick it right back up. No shifting, man. Yeah, if you want to ride lazy, this is definitely one of the first things I noticed. It's a thumper, kind of, you know, but you can also rev it out. It's very, the motor is pretty versatile. You'll see when I get into the tighter stuff what I mean, but I will tell you that I don't feel like the bike is, doesn't feel heavy. Like everybody talks about 450s feeling heavy and stuff like that. It doesn't feel much different than my 250, to be honest with you, other than the power. No. It just gets up and goes, you know, real easy. The 250 would move as well, but I like to be wrung out. You know, when you really gave it a fistful of throttle, it would just build RPMs and scream, and that's where the power was. There wasn't a ton of low end torque, where this bike's got a lot of low end torque. But you'll see, by downshift, you'll see more. Like the throttle's like right on off. You know, I wanted to correct myself, so I was actually in 4th gear for all that stuff. believe it or not. So when I was slowing down there, I was actually 4th gear. This is a 5-speed, so it just goes to show you again, I'm in 4th gear right now and I'm cruising at 30. Like, you could just literally ride around in 4th gear the whole time, and it makes the bike not dangerous, if that makes any sense. So instead of it being like low gear and the RPMs are up, and then, you know, you got to worry about whiskey throttling and stuff, you can, the bike's perfectly happy lugging. Like, I'm lugging it right now real low, 29 miles an hour in 4th gear, and then you get on it and you know, goodbye, it takes off, but not like ripping your arms off kind of. So we'll turn down here, we'll do a little more slower, tighter stuff, and I'll show you guys what we got. So I got a bunch of goodies coming for the bike. Not a bunch, kind of similar to mods I did to my 250. Actually the same exact mods, all of them. I already got the lowering link installed, like I said, but I got the frame guards, hand guards, grips. I got a G2 throttle tamer coming for it. Get rid of that initial twitchy on-off throttle. That works really, really well. I'm in 2nd gear right now. This bike is really good going through the sand. That's one thing it is better than the Husky. It just tracks a little bit straighter through it. Pushes through better. You'll see no clutch cover in there. 2nd gear. I covered it quick, but didn't have to use it. This bike will lug really well. It doesn't flame out. See how low I got it there? 11 miles an hour in 2nd gear. I just slowed down to up in a turn. See how the front end comes up? Really easy if you wanted to. It's kind of why, trying to weave through all that cactus there. It's kind of why riding it up a gear is nice. You get yourself in a lot less trouble, and it's just as happy doing so. So I'll get it up to 3rd. Ride some of this through 3rd here. Suspension's awesome, you know, and it's not really broken in yet. Obviously, there's only an hour on it. When I first got on it the other day, it was stiff, man. Like it wasn't moving. It was just brand new bike, you know. And then within 40 minutes, 30-40 minutes, you can feel it softened up, like everything's breaking in. My WR 250, I noticed at about 10-hour mark, suspension softened up quite a bit, so I anticipate it'll probably be the case here. The KYB stuff tends to be a little tight from what I'm seeing. Just could be the quality of the parts. Tolerances really tight, so everything wears in. The seat's nice and wears, and then it softens up a little bit. So, but really good, man. I got the clickers out a little bit, kind of softens it up. You can hear I don't have to ride it high in the RPMs, and I can still give it some gas and not have to worry about it getting out from under me, you know what I mean? So 3rd gear here, going 20 something miles an hour, low 20s. Obviously, if you want to have a little fun, just click it down to the 2nd, build the RPMs. And it's perfectly happy doing that too. But it seems so far this WR 450 is pretty easy to manage. I mean, it's not like it wants to kill you. It wants to rip your arms off. You can ride it if you got some experience. You worry about getting a 450. I think this WR version, the way it's tuned and mapped and restricted from the factory, really tames it down quite a bit. I have it like 2/3 uncorked, So I have, see that right there? That was like probably a 2-foot washout, and I just carried the front end over it. Real easy. This one will drop in, and it just, you know, suspension takes care of the rest. But I was saying, I'm like 2/3 uncorked, so I have the exhaust unrestricted, the pea shooter out of the exhaust. The throttle stop is not in; it's got full throttle, and it is the air box restrictor is still in it. So I think that's taming it down quite a bit, enough to make it where it's really manageable. But you got all that 450 torque, but it doesn't really want to get away from you too fast. And we'll probably leave it like that until we get a competition ECU, because with the competition ECU you could really tame this thing down quite a bit. You can kind of tune it down to really mellow mapping, take all the timing out of it, add some fuel at the bottom, and really mellow it down. So I'm very happy with the way she runs right now. See how low I can lug that thing. I'm in 3rd gear, so you can hear how it's, it doesn't build RPMs as fast as the 250 did. The 250, man, if you gave it the throttle, if you gave it a bunch of gas, and it would just spin up fast. You can make this bike really, you know, do it however you want. I'm very pleased with it in that regard. It's not, I mean, just like you got some of your guys' comments, like, wow, is the 450 going to be, some of you guys have privately messaged me and emailed me even, like, hey, is that 450 going to be like crazy power? And I was a little concerned about it myself, to be honest, but it's really pleasantly surprised with the characteristics of it. It's got all the torque to pull you through everything, and I have also too, you guys have noticed, if you haven't, I got it on the blue map, which is the tamer map as well. So between riding the tamer map, keeping that throttle, the air box restrictor in there, this is the biggest drop here and up. See, it's very I did that just as easy as I would have on my Husky on my 2-stroke. It's really good. Down and up again. Loose rock, all loose rock here. But yeah, keep it in that blue tame map. That was all 2nd gear right there, that last section. I'll click it up into 3rd here. And keep it in the blue map, keeping the airbox restrictor in it for at first. And with not, you know, just stock mapping, it's, you know, you're riding up a gear like this, like I'm in 3rd here going 25. See, I get like 3/4 throttle there, and it goes, but it's not going to kill you. Now, if I was in 2nd gear and did that, you know, it might have been a different story. I'll show you. Get it in 2nd. You hear the difference. You can whiskey throttle it in 2nd, you know. Keep it up in a higher gear, and it takes care of all that. And with the way it's mapped, my 250 was the same way. You can, it doesn't flame out. I mean, the bike just doesn't flame out. So you can ride this bike up a higher gear and not have to worry about that, constantly clutching the hell out of it. Which is something I really like about these WRs, that a lot of the 4-strokes don't have seem to have those characteristics. This stuff here too, where it's all chopped up and rutted, you can kind of just skim over the top of that stuff, and instead of diving down in and up and in and up, you just like. And the exhaust note is really good too. It's quite a bit throatier and louder than my 250 WR was. which obviously is to be expected. It's almost twice the motor. Now, I don't know exact stats on these things, but from a dyno I seen performed on a stock 2022 WR, which there were some upgrades in 2024. 2022 uncorked made 48 horsepower and like 39 pound-feet of torque, something like that. So that's a lot of power. I just don't think you need the YZ power levels, to be honest, in the 50s. I think that's where you start getting a little bit like, you know, I mean, you could hurt yourself on this, but with the way it is, it's got just enough juice, enough giddy up, where if you ride it to where I've been talking about, you know, up a high gear or tamer mat, you can get all the benefits of the big torque without, you know, the crazy throttle response. See how it carries the front wheel though, real easy though. That is one thing you gotta, you know, if you want to have fun and just brap it over the top of a hill and shoot some roost at your friend behind you, you may be standing on your back wheel doing that. So just got to be conscious of that, especially if you're low RPMs, because all the torque kicks in. I'll let you guys listen to the bike for a couple minutes, and then we'll get out on some bigger open trails. Still in third here, slowing down. Almost crawling in third. Another thing too, I just thought of, not a ton of engine braking. It's not like you let off the gas and you're like thrown forward, like the engine braking starts kicking in. It's almost like two-stroke-ish. Just slows you down a little bit. My 250 WR was the same way. It's just the way Yamaha tunes these, sets these things up, I guess. I don't know. It's a very good characteristic. A lot of four-strokes aren't that way. You can hear the fans on right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. It's low 90s in the temps right now. Another great thing about this bike is that it comes with a fan, whereas a lot of four-strokes don't. And man, if you're riding in high temps, you know, like I'm in the desert here, it's hot. I don't just ride in the winter. You need a fan. And the fact that it comes with it, and it's all set up for you that way, it's really, really nice. Still in third gear. So I'm trying to show you guys how good it lugs, you know, like get down in the low RPMs there, keeping it in the same gear. Fourth gear. We got a thunderstorm coming our way, which is nice. It'll cool it off. Sometimes they're around us, but we don't actually get them because all the moisture kind of wicks on top of the mountains, and by the time it gets to us here in the valley, it stays dry. But we'll end up with like a sprinkle. Woo! Running right up over there. Oh, sorry, that was the whole third gear stuff. I don't know why. I'm used to the 6-speed. I'm just kind of losing count here a little bit. Now we're in fourth. So previous to this was all third still. See, even fourth, man. I'm like in the 20s, mid 20s. and pick up the pace. You know, it's really good that way. The seat, what can you say about the seat? I mean, it's a rock, man. Rock Gibraltar, the seat is. So we'll get another Guts Racing seat with the soft foam. That did the trick on the last one. I was thinking about the seat concepts, but man, it's so freaking expensive. And they only offer it in standard foam. I don't know if any of you guys have had a seat concepts, like a low seat concept seat. The low comfort seat, which they say is standard foam, but it's low comfort they call it because it's a little bit wider, I guess. Let me know how soft it really is and if it's comfortable. Stock seat, you know, there's like, you get stretches like this where it's just dirt. It's nothing technical. There's no reason to be standing and wasting energy. You know, sitting down is nice when you're doing these long trip rides, and you just sitting down for a couple minutes on a stock seat, you know, like a lot of dirt bikes, is just really brutal on your rear end, man. Unless you got a lot of cushion down there, which I do not. My bones on my rear end are killing me after a ride if I do much sitting on this bike. So definitely gotta get the new seat. See, I'm still in 4th gear, man. I'm doing these ups and downs, and where typically a lot of bikes you'd have downshift, and you can still get on it there, you know. Slow us down a little bit here, coming down on this one, come down, coming up. If you like to hit things with speed too, this is the bike. The suspension's got a lot of hold up. I'm kind of like a mid-pace rider, you know. I don't get way ahead of myself, but I'm not typically riding trails where it's involving really, really slow. So this is like just set up perfect for that. This is the same trail I do a lot of my test rides on, so you guys have probably seen this before, familiar, but it's just a good trail to demonstrate characteristics of a dirt bike or ATV. So it's got a lot of versatility to it. I'm gonna go big downhill here and then up again. So I know the camera makes everything look flat, but I'm still sitting right now. See, I'm still in 4th gear, man, through all the stuff. I'm going 33 at the most. We'll go right. Still in 4th gear, man. See how I slow down there? Watch. Going 20. 15 miles an hour. Get back on it. 4th gear. That's just crazy. I mean, you can't do that with a lot of bikes. Like, that's why people say, like, you get a smaller displacement bike and it really teaches you a lot of skill because you're doing a lot more shifting and learning how to be in the right gear. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. So if you are learning how to ride, you should, first of all, you should get a smaller displacement bike anyway to have less power. But it does teach you how to be in the right gear for the right situations. Now when you have the experience and the skill and the know-how, you know, and you get up to a bigger bore bike and you do kind of ride it lazy, you still have an understanding of, like, well, what you should be doing. That being said, there's nothing wrong with lugging it, you know, if the bike can do it. This bike's got a ton of torque at the bottom, so it would get you out of a lot of trouble if you're in too high a gear still. Right now we're in 3rd. And see how it just comes alive, man, when you're down a gear. And I'm still in the slow map. So I'll ride all this section in 3rd. Show you guys the difference. Somebody's out here on a bike. There's some tracks over there. Another big downhill and uphill again. Down, down, down. And up. Other thing about this bike, dude, 0 vibrations. Like, I don't want to say 0, but minuscule. Like, almost don't even feel it. I would say the like a KTM Husqvarna 350s have more vibrations than this 450 does. I rode my buddy Scott's FE 350, and I would say that had more vibration than this 450 does, Yamaha. All right, guys. We're gonna make it right here, go in a little bit more of a tight, twisty little section, and it opens up. I'll show you guys the hotter map, and then we'll get off the bike and we'll do some final thoughts, summarize some things. Second gear here. One thing with this bike is you can actually take off in second gear. I'll show you, I'll demonstrate that for you. You can, the first gear is really, really short. Second gear is short too, so you can. I'm in second gear right now. I mean, you almost don't even need first if you really want to be a lazy rider. You'll see second gear, you know, it starts revving out mid 20 miles, mid 20s, so like 25 or so, you're gonna be out of it. I click up into third here. Sit down through all this. Kind of all wet sand, this trail right now. We had some rain the last few nights. It's monsoon season right now, so late afternoon, evening, get thunderstorms, rain showers. There's one coming in now. It's really it's a nice little cool breeze kicking up, so it's making it a little more comfortable here. This is a really nice trail bike, man. I mean, for a 450. See how we're handling it. See, I'm sitting down, picking my way through this twisty stuff. We'll go down to second. We are really slowing down a lot. Kind of. This is why I want a nice, comfortable seat. Sometimes it's nice to just sit down through this stuff, especially when you're in the sand. So he's better to get the weight on the back tire and sit. But I really think it's a nice little trail bike. It's not intimidating to me, which I was worried about. And I think if you have a year or so experience riding dirt bikes, I got this is my 5th bike, so I add up all the hours. I'm on bikes for about 14-15 months now. I had 23 on the Husky, 35 on the WR 250, 18 on the Beta, 10 on the, so close to 100 hours of riding on my belt. And you know, I'm not new to riding in general, just new to riding dirt bikes in this time frame. I've been on 3-wheelers and ATVs my whole life, so just getting used to the 2-wheel thing. I think you can manage this if you have a brain. Put it in the hotter map. She flies, dude. Flies. If you wanted to. See, like, I'm in the hot map there. See how much it revs up quicker? You can, I mean, I just ride it. So I just ride it in the blue map, you know? So like I was saying, you have half a brain. You can ride these things without getting hurt, you know what I mean? Ride it, be in the right gear, you know, don't go crazy on corking the whole bike. Take the restrictor out of the exhaust. I think it helps let a lot of heat out. And what have you. And you know, take the throttle stop out, because you don't want to be restricted in the throttle, because I think that gets you in more trouble than not. Sometimes you need the throttle to get out of a situation, and you don't want to not have it available. So shut her down, get off the bike and talk about it though, and then hopefully avoid this storm coming in and washing out our session here. But yeah, 25 WR 450F. So I think we got a winner, man. I think this bike, I hopefully I've demonstrated in this video, it really is not. I know a lot of you guys had some fears for my life with getting a 450 when I told you what I was getting. And rightfully so. You know, that was obviously my biggest concern going into getting it, and it was kind of roll of the dice, just like it was a roll of the dice when I got the 250F WR, because there's just not a lot of info on YouTube about these bikes, unfortunately. Not for the US models anyway. There's a lot of stuff, you know, almost every review you see, they're media reviews, and there's not a lot of people reviewing them, like owners, which kind of stinks. But hopefully I can fill that void for you guys, bring you plenty of content on this like I did with the 250 version, and we'll plan on putting, you know, many hours on this bike this upcoming riding season. I say upcoming riding season. I know it's riding season for most of you, but here riding season is kind of slow right now because summer starting to taper off. So once the weather cools off, that's when, you know, fall, winter into spring is our big riding season. So I'll be doing, you know, tons of riding with this thing, and putting a lot of hours on it, a lot of miles, and really getting some good footage, good content on it, get some mods done to it. We got a few mods coming already: G2 throttle tamer, Rogue ODI grips. Went with the black. For those of you who told me that the gray is the softest, I believe you, but the black is so soft I can't imagine it being any softer. Not that I don't take your word for it, but the black's plenty soft enough. And hand guards, frame guards, Acerbis frame guards, which is another thing. It reminds me, it's great about WRs, and I think it's the Japanese bike thing, whereas the Austrian bikes are like full of plastic here, and I used to hate that about the Husky. Every ride, I'd clean the bike, get it really spotless clean, and then after a ride, it'd be brown and scuffed, like right down the middle there, because that's like, it's all plastic there, and the boots rubbing. Where here, with these Japanese bikes, the Yamahas particularly, I think Hondas are pretty similar. It's more open, and you got the frame there, and then so you put the frame guards, and that just takes all the beating. So we got those frame guards coming, and you're not wrecking your plastics with your legs coming down and your boots rubbing on them the whole time. I would polish up the white plastics on the Husky, and then 5 minutes into another ride, they were brown again. So that was always a little annoying. So I kind of like a design of that way. There's no plastic covers to pop on and off constantly. I like the way the airbox is on these WRs, and not Yamahas, up high here. Keeps them clean a lot longer. You need to do your air filter cleaning. Unless you're riding in groups and you're following people and eating dust all day, obviously you're still gonna take in dust. But if you're out doing a lot of solo rides, or if you're ahead of the pack, or if you're riding non-dusty conditions, you get twice as long on an air filter change on one of these bikes than you do on all the other dirt bikes where they put the air filters in the back, because it's just not taking in as much dust. So I love that about this, actually. Hopefully, again, like I said, I've demonstrated the tameness that it can be. It can be tame, and it can be a wild animal if you want it to be. But you don't have to ride it like that, and you can, you know, keep it in a soft map, ride it up a gear, and it's very, very good going slow. It's very happy going slow. Doesn't need to be revved out and going fast. It's fine just picking its way through a trail, like that last little section we did there, that last little tight, zigzaggy, sandy trail. We just kind of sat down and weaved our way through slow and lugged it, and it was perfectly content and happy doing that. And that's why it's been a pleasure on the bike, because of the way it is there. And that's obviously a concern for a lot of people looking to get a 450. And I think if you are going to get a 450, there's a handful of 450s that you're probably going to be safe bet that are going to be similar to this in terms of rideable. There's a lot of 450s out there that are not rideable, and they get a bad rap because the motocross bikes, the cross-country bikes, are just so hot and so fast and so like twitchy and uncontrollable at times. But Yamaha's power deliveries are very smooth. They make a ton of power, but they comes on nice. It's linear, and the WRs are tuned a little bit softer, so it makes it even better yet. You know, you got that peak power, but you got a lot of torque on the bottom that you could just utilize and not have to get into the peak horsepower. And it makes it very rideable. And there's a couple of bikes out of that way. You know, the Honda 450X comes to mind. Good desert bike. Not so good at going slow though on that bike. It's not happy with going slow at the factory. Their ECUs are very, very lean, and they have a lot of flame out issues. The 450Xs have the box. So usually people go with an ECU, like a Get ECU or something like that, right out of the box on one of those to make it more rideable like this is. And those bikes are very heavy, so that kind of ruled that out for me right away. The other one I considered was an FE450W. Not a W, I'm sorry. It's just an FE450, like the Husqvarna FE450, which is the same bike as the KTM 450 XCFW. You know, they're the Enduro headlight 450s. They're much more tame. They're a little easier to ride, and not flame out prone. So those were the Husqvarna version particularly. I was really cross shopping with this, considered, but I'm blue crew to the core, honestly, man. Like, sounds fanboyish, but I really do love the Yamaha products. I think they make great products. I think they're awesome looking bikes. I think getting parts is easy, all that stuff. It's just a really good, they're a good manufacturer that I like having their products. You know, I've had several Yamaha products over the years, and I just like them. So it's really nice having another Yamaha. I'm happy about that. And for those of you wondering about the transition to from the 2-stroke to the 4-stroke and back to the, you know, the back and forth, and now I'm back on a 4-stroke. I'm going to do a video talking about all that stuff. We'll address that issue, not issue, but address that concern that somebody has had, or question, I should say, or a better way to put it, about why I went from a 2-stroke back to a 4-stroke, and what my thoughts are there. I'm not ruling out having another 2-stroke on the channel in the future, but it's going to be a totally different scenario. It's going to be something, we'll get into that in the other video, but it's going to be something to kind of accompany this on the channel for selective use instead of a primary bike. So we'll talk about that on another one though. We'll wrap this one up. I think it's been long enough. I know some of you guys like the long stuff, some of you guys don't, so try to keep it somewhere in the middle. But hopefully initial impressions there, something that satisfies you guys, so we got some bigger, longer rides and stuff. Again, 2 thumbs up so far. Really happy, really pleased with the fact that it is not ripping your arms off power. Very controllable. I think I've demonstrated that here plenty. Mods are coming this week. They're going to be delivered, so we'll do a video getting those all installed for the next set of content for the bike. We'll install the mods on it, and then we'll do some more riding videos after that. So this is Joe with Odyssey Off-Road. Subscribe channel if you haven't already. If it's the first time checking out the channel, appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you stick around and check out all the other stuff we got here on the channel going on. We're coming up on we're just about 9,000 subs. Hopefully we'll be at 10. I'm hoping to be at 10. I'd like to be at 10 by the end of October to launch the merch. That would be nice to couple that together. So spread the word, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment. Helps me out a ton. If you guys have any questions at all, I try to answer almost every question. Unless you're a knucklehead, we'll just leave you to talk to yourself. But most of these are not, so I appreciate that. And again, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you guys out on the trail. Get out there, get yourselves a WR, be safe, be smart. I'll see you on the trail.